Okay, I'm going to make a quick video on how to CC or BCC somebody from an email template through the Campaign Builder. It's a little roundabout, but this should answer all your questions on how to be able to do something like that. I also want to let you know that what I'm about to go through isn't necessarily the recommended way to be able to send out multiple, like the same email to multiple contacts or to multiple addresses. I will cover the recommended way at the very end of this video. So we can start not in the Campaign Builder, but in Templates. So go to Marketing and Templates, and we can just create a new template here. So come up here, select Email. And in the email template, you'll see that the first one, right, the from is here, and then it defaults to the primary email contact. But you can add a BCC, right, and you can merge any other email you wanted to in there. So for example, email to, and then you could add a BCC. Let's say that you wanted to send it to yourself. So in some industries, right, that's very important. So like sometimes in the insurance industry, things need to be CC'd or BCC'd for regulatory reasons. So anyway, so you create the email, you go and hit the email body, right, and you create the email like you would any. But you just add these extra things up here at the top for the BCC and the CCC, and then you can come down here and hit save. Okay, so let me go ahead and title this email. Okay, and so then we'll go ahead and hit save and search. That'll take us out of here. And now we can go to the Campaign Builder. So I'm just going to go into a, this is one that I do lots of tests in. Some empty space here. All right, and so in this email, or in this sequence, what we'll do is we'll need an action set. Okay, so in order to send this email out, right, we can't just use an email. We're going to have to use an action set. Okay, so we can't just come in here and bring in an email from email templates. If you go to email and use a template, okay, if we just pull in the one that we just used, the Campaign Builder will actually strip out all the BCCs and CCs that we stuck in there. Okay, so it won't actually work the way that we anticipate it. Okay, so you see that it's still the subject line, the email is just a 2, and it stripped out all the other things. Okay, so just so that you know that that's what happens there. Okay, so let's go make this action set. We can't build it in the Campaign Builder, so we'll go back to list, and under marketing we can go to settings, and we can go to action sets. Okay, so we'll add an action set, and I always start my action sets with an asterisk, which makes them very easy to find, because although you may not have made any of these action sets, there are a ton that get auto-generated whenever you do different things. So there's probably a ton of them in there already. So we'll call this one CC and BCC in CB, in the Campaign Builder. Okay, and the action is going to be send an email or fax. Okay, so it asks us what is it that we want to send, an email. And I didn't put it in a category, so that won't really help the template itself. So I'll have to come in here and I can type in C, and it brings us all the way down to the bottom, even off your screen there. But it was down there, so I just selected CC and BCC example. And then I click, and that's it. And so from here, right, that's it. If I click edit, that would let me edit the email. If I click add, that would actually bring me back to templates and help me and have me create a brand new template. Okay, so here we are. I just click save. Okay, and now you can see it says actions, send an email using the CC and BCC example email template. And then I click save again. Now I can go back to the Campaign Builder, and I can go into the same, there it is, the same campaign that I was using before. That sequence. We'll go into that sequence, and we've already got the action set ready for us. So we can come in here, and as you can see, I've built a few of these, but the one that we're going to use is this one, right? The CC and BCC in CB. All right, and then if you want to, you can put a little note in here to Infusionsoft to let them know why you're using an action set inside the Campian Builder. So go ahead and hit save, and then we can also change this too. And so here we might put the, maybe the title of the email. All right, so that way we remember, what this email is and why we need to use the action set. So you put send, right, title of the email, right, send blah, blah, blah email. So again, that way you remember what this action set is for and what it does without having to open it. Because again, you can't see what the action set does from here. You would have to go back to action sets to see it. So in a roundabout way, this is how you would send an email with the BCC or CC in it. Now, some of the issues with this, just so that you're aware, is that when we talk about reporting, right, like if the BCC opens the email, right, if it's you, then the reporting is going to show that the email was opened, even if it wasn't the customer that you intended to open it. Or if you click a link in there, it'll also show that that customer clicked the link. And if one of the CCs, BCCs, or somebody other than the original person actually unsubscribes from that email, it will unsubscribe the original person as well. So there are some things to consider when you're CCing and BCCing emails as well. But in any case, if it's a requirement for you to use this, hopefully this will help. However, if it doesn't need to be the exact same email, then the recommended way to be able to send the same email to multiple people or to multiple email addresses would be when you create your email. Let's say this is an email that's been created, it's ready to go, and we want to send it. If you are on a Mac or a PC, actually, you'd hold down Control, and then you would click on the email, and then you would drag. Then you'd you'd unclick and then let go of Control. And again, on a Mac, it's actually Control, not Command. And on a PC, it's Control. So that is how you would make a copy. And then you'd go into this email, into the second email, and then you'd go to Email and change to Other. And then from here, you can go ahead and put in whatever email that you need, right? So here we can just merge in email 2. And that is the recommended way to send the exact same email to 2 different recipients. All right, again, hopefully this helps, and we'll talk to you guys here soon.